Some people seem fabricated, yet they are entirely real. Around the world, certain individuals possess abilities or conditions so extraordinary that they force you to reconsider the limits of possibility. Today, we examine the 15 most bizarre people who genuinely exist. These true stories inspire, astonish, and prove that life consistently defies the boundaries of the ordinary. Reality bends expectations more than fiction ever could. Each one challenges what you thought was possible until this moment. Let's begin with number 15. Number 15, siblings born without eyes or speech. Few people pause to consider the privilege of sight or sound. Louise and Valence entered life without either. Both brothers were born without eyes, and Valence also cannot hear or speak, placing him in a world untouched by light or language. Doctors searched tirelessly for answers, yet explanations never came. Their parents refused to let uncertainty define their sons. After losing 4 newborns, Louise's survival felt nothing short of divine. Blindness did not lessen their gratitude. 2 years later, Valence arrived with even greater challenges, and the same unwavering devotion embraced him. Outsiders may see limitations. Their family sees 2 miracles who endured against staggering odds. The boys continue growing, surrounded by patience, tenderness, and fierce protection. Where others focus on absence, their parents see presence. Their lives stand as proof that love does not depend on sight, speech, or sound. It lives in devotion that never measures worth. Number 14. Roger once carried the comfort of anonymity. A small blemish appeared on his nose and lingered longer than expected. Gradually, it expanded into heavy, sagging growths that reshaped his face and altered every interaction. For nearly 40 years, he lived with advanced rhinophyma, a condition that thickens nasal tissue and distorts appearance. Eating requires effort. Rest offered little relief. Breathing sometimes felt strained. Public outings invited stares that lingered too long and whispers that followed behind him. What began as a skin disorder quietly became isolation. Clear answers remained distant for decades. Eventually, a skilled specialist identified the condition and performed complex surgery to remove the excess tissue. The transformation reached beyond the surface. Relief replaced humiliation. Facing his reflection without distortion felt unfamiliar, yet freeing. Recovery continues, yet confidence slowly returns. After decades hidden behind altered features, Roger is reclaiming dignity and learning to stand comfortably in his own skin again. Number 13, Tiffany Wedkind. Tiffany's life quietly dismantles medical expectations. Living in Ohio, she has progeria, a rare condition that accelerates aging dramatically. But her delicate frame and lined features often lead strangers to assume she is far older. In reality, she approaches her late 40s with remarkable resolve. Childhood included ballet classes, sports teams, and cheerleading, even while her body moved to a different rhythm. During her 20s, hair thinning, joint stiffness, and dental complications surfaced, mirroring what her brother experienced. Tests confirmed progeria, a diagnosis rarely associated with adulthood. Yet Tiffany surpassed those predictions. Nearing 48, she stands as the oldest known person living with the condition. Cardiovascular disease and arthritis accompany her daily life, but they have not diminished her spirit. Friends describe her as warm, determined, and quietly fearless. Her journey reveals that aging is not defined by appearance, but by endurance and the courage to keep living fully. Number 12, Romesh Dargi. Romesh was born in Nepal, appearing healthy and strong. Within weeks, his skin began cracking and thickening into rigid plates that restricted every movement. Harlequin ichthyosis slowly encased his small body in armor-like layers that caused constant pain. Simple motions felt overwhelming. Speech came with difficulty. Walking seemed unreachable. Children in his village kept their distance, unsure how to respond. Limited resources left his parents feeling helpless. Hope arrived through the Joss Stone Foundation, in which funded treatment and brought medical experts to assist. Careful removal of hardened layers allowed moisture to return and eased relentless discomfort. For the first time, relief replaced suffering. His challenges have not disappeared, yet possibility now walks beside them. What once seemed like a life confined by circumstance has begun to unfold differently. With continued care and support, Romesh moves forward steadily, building a future shaped less by limitation and more by resilience. Number 11. Sebastian Quinn. Sebastian has spent years living with epidermodysplasia viruciformis, often called tree man syndrome. This rare genetic mutation weakens immune defenses, allowing thick wart-like growths to spread across his hands and feet. Over time, they hardened into heavy layers that made ordinary tasks exhausting. At 17, school became impossible, and wearing regular shoes caused pain. The pandemic intensified isolation, as vulnerability to illness confined him further. Public encounters often carried cruelty, whispers trailed behind him, and children once mocked him at a swimming pool. Those moments left scars deeper than the physical condition. Withdrawal could have defined his future, yet it did not. Through treatment and resilience, Sebastian stepped back into the world. Instead of hiding, he speaks openly about his disorder, offering visibility to others facing misunderstanding. Marked by struggle and strength alike, he stands present and unashamed, showing that dignity can survive even the harshest judgment. Number 10. Gaurav Graham. From a distance, Gaurav looks like any joyful boy growing up in Nepal. Then the third arm becomes visible, extending from his shoulder. The limb is not usable. It is the undeveloped remainder of a conjoined twin that fused to his spine before birth. He also lives with spasticity, which limits his movement, though he can still walk. Recently, the extra arm has begun causing significant discomfort. The surgeons believe removing it could ease his daily struggles, yet the procedure carries serious risk. The nerves along his spine are delicate, and damage could leave him paralyzed. Faith complicates everything. Local Hindu shamans insist the limb is sacred and should remain untouched. His family stands divided between spiritual belief and medical guidance. Gaurav lives caught between two uncertain futures, one shaped by pain, the other by danger. More than anything, he longs for an ordinary life not overshadowed by fear. Number 9. Rachel Winnard. Rachel is nearing 40 while her body steadily turns rigid. She has fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, a rare disorder that slowly converts muscle and connective tissue into bone. It feels as though an unwanted skeleton is forming beneath her skin. At 19 months old, small swellings appeared along her back. Doctors misunderstood the signs and pursued aggressive treatments that offered no relief. At 12, the correct diagnosis finally emerged, along with the knowledge that the condition would only progress. Over time, her neck stiffened, then her shoulders and hips. Movements once effortless gradually disappeared. Today, she depends entirely on her husband, who cares for her full time. Despite the immense loss of mobility, bitterness has not taken root. She draws strength from love and steadiness rather than despair. The disease has reshaped her body, not her spirit. Uneven as bone replaces flexibility, her resilience remains unyielding and deeply human. Number 8. Scarlett Checkers. Scarlett always noticed her body moved differently, though answers came much later. Eventually, she was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobile type, a rare genetic condition that makes joints unstable and skin unusually elastic. As a child, her flexibility felt entertaining, almost magical. Limbs twisted easily, drawing surprise reactions from family. Adulthood brought clarity. The condition carries chronic pain, repeated dislocations, and persistent fatigue. Many living with EDS rely on mobility aids over time. Scarlett chose to shape her difference into performance. She became a professional contortionist, clown, and sideshow entertainer touring with her troupe, The Birthday Party. Some within the EDS community question whether performing minimizes the seriousness of the disorder. Scarlett listens carefully to her body and respects its limits. She performs because it fulfills her, not because she seeks validation. Hypermobility may define her diagnosis, but creativity defines her life. Number 7. Dare Flanagan. Dare was born in Northern Ireland with Apert syndrome, a rare condition where the skull fuses prematurely, restricting brain growth and altering facial structure. His eyes were widely spaced, and his fingers and toes were joined together. Before his first birthday, surgeons performed urgent surgery to relieve dangerous pressure inside his skull. Without intervention, the outcome could have been devastating. That procedure marked the beginning of a long series of operations. Over the years, Dare underwent more than 20 surgeries, including one where doctors removed, reshaped, and replaced his entire skull. Childhood unfolded through hospital visits rather than playground games. Recovery became familiar, yet resilience grew stronger with each challenge. When he refuses to let appearance define confidence. Every scar represents survival. Today, Dare moves forward with steady determination, proving that strength is measured not by symmetry, but by endurance and the courage to keep facing life head-on. Number 6. Abel Bagandar. Abel has spent years living with epidermodysplasia verruciformis, often called tree man syndrome. Thick, bark-like growths cover his hands and feet, resembling heavy roots fused to his limbs. In 2016, surgeons performed 25 operations, removing more than 5 kilograms of hardened tissue. Hope followed those procedures. He imagined holding his daughter comfortably, working again, reclaiming ordinary routines. The relief did not last. The growth returned heavier and faster than before. Even lifting a glass of water became a painful effort. Desperation led him to request amputation of both hands. Doctors declined, believing other treatment options might still exist. That decision left him suspended between constant agony and uncertain possibility. Each day demands endurance. While medical teams debate future solutions, Abul's wish remains simple and deeply human. He longs for relief, for dignity, for a life not defined by suffering, but by the chance to exist without relentless pain. Number 5. Lucas Caldwell. Lucas and Ben Caldwell came into the world minutes apart, twin brothers who once shared nearly identical features. That resemblance began to fade when Lucas was 7 and diagnosed with Perry-Romberg syndrome, a rare disorder that gradually causes one side of the face to recede. As the years moved forward, his appearance shifted while his brothers remained unchanged. Growing up beside that contrast demanded resilience. Ben never pulled away. Their bond steadied Lucas when self-doubt surfaced. Rather than withdrawing, he leaned into visibility. Social media became his outlet, way where candid humor and vulnerability resonated with millions. Now 21, he is not chasing attention. He values honesty. Through each video, he quietly reshapes narrow definitions of beauty. Symmetry no longer determines worth in his world. When reflection evolves, identity remains firm. He shows up without a disguise, reminding others that confidence is not about perfect features, but about standing fully present in your own skin. Number 4. Megan Hope Brine. Before Megan's first breath, medical expectations were painfully limited. She was born with hollow prosencephaly, a rare condition in which the brain does not fully separate. A cleft lip, missing fingers and toes, and dangerous fluid pressure within her skull complicated her fragile start. Doctors prepared her family for loss. She kept fighting. Surgeons later placed a shunt to ease the pressure, followed by reconstructive procedures that shaped a thumb, cheeks, nose, and eyelids. Every surgery demanded strength beyond childhood years. Her family never allowed fear to eclipse hope. Their devotion surrounded her through every recovery. Gradually, survival transformed into growth. Today, she attends school, plays, and participates in everyday life like any child exploring the world. Her story is not centered on odds once stacked against her. It reflects perseverance nurtured by love. Predictions once spoken with certainty have been rewritten by endurance, courage, and a relentless belief. Number 3. Kiara Boer. Kiara Boer stepped into the fashion world carrying more than style. After surviving a devastating moped accident that resulted in the loss of her leg, retreat might have felt natural. Instead, she returned to the runway, wearing a crystal-covered prosthetic and unwavering confidence. Born in Tarquinia, Italy, she began redefining perceptions of beauty before reaching 25. The spotlight did not intimidate her. It strengthened her presence. Sympathy was never her objective. Visibility was. In an industry still learning to embrace visible difference, she transformed hers into distinction. Each stride carries intention. Each pose reflects ownership of her story. Even without constant media attention, her influence remained steady. She offered others permission to exist unapologetically. Glamour in her world is not flawless. It is courage displayed openly. Her presence proves that scars do not diminish beauty. They add depth, character, and undeniable strength to every step she takes. Number 2. Ashley Kerpiel. Ashley is 36 and living with fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, a rare condition that gradually transforms muscles, ligaments, and tendons into bone. Movement narrows as her body stiffens over time. One arm has already been amputated, and further immobilization may follow. Doctors cannot predict the exact pace of progression. Waiting quietly is not her approach. She travels, participates in marathons using a wheelchair, and fills her days with intention. Awareness of the outcome intensifies her determination rather than weakening it. Each experience carries weight. While the disorder restricts physical freedom, it has not confined her spirit. Joy becomes deliberate. Memory becomes precious. She refuses to measure life by limitation alone. Even as rigidity advances, her resolve advances with it. Petrification may shape her body, yet it does not define her identity. Why she chooses motion, purpose, and meaning, proving that vitality can flourish even as time tightens its hold. Number 1. Kilpatrick. At 6 years old, EA lives with mandibulo-acral dysplasia, an exceptionally rare condition sometimes referred to as Benjamin Button disease. Her body ages more rapidly than expected, giving her the appearance of someone much older. Born prematurely at 36 weeks, she faced serious challenges early in life. At 3 months old, her tongue obstructed her airway while crying, and emergency surgery saved her. The diagnosis that followed reshaped expectations for her future. While classmates run freely, she manages hearing loss and limited mobility, often associated with advanced age. Difficulties remain present, yet they do not overshadow her spirit. She attends school, forms friendships, and carries warmth that fills every room. Her mother once feared rejection from peers. Instead, kindness surrounds her. Laughter defines her days more than pain. Her life is not defined by rarity alone. It reflects resilience, affection, and a light that continues to shine brightly. If these stories moved you even a little, don't scroll away. Drop a comment and tell us which one stayed with you the most. And if you believe real life is stranger than fiction, hit subscribe and join us for the next countdown.